everybody, and welcome to the Last Choice Network, Two Dudes That Game podcast. I'm Ender. This is James. How you doing today, James? How's it going?
I'm doing great, sitting over here trying to understand my stupid computer, my microphone, my Go XLR. I can't breathe out of my nose for 2 months straight, so it's fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, you're having a good day so far. I would
I know you're
not
enjoying
reach.
it.
Your pain doesn't make me feel good. It's not when when there's real problems going on. It's like, okay, let's work through this. But it's all the little stuff that makes me laugh. Like if like your headphones fell off right now, or if it came unplugged and stuff like that. But when shit's just not working, it's just frustrating.
You're frustrated,
Especially
but
after
deep down, I know that you're laughing.
No, not there. I was laughing. The only thing I was laughing at was the fact that you did say I've done everything correct. Yet the one thing that you did not pay attention to was the one thing in the YouTube video I sent you that the guy said, if you don't get this right, nothing's going to work. And that's the part that you missed. But anyway, we're going to step past that.
Nailed it.
We're gonna
I don't
step
know
past
why
that
you
and
don't
just move
start
on.
with that when you're trying to help me with issues. You know damn well I don't pay attention.
Well, because I told you follow it and make sure you pay attention, and you said you did, so I trusted you.
Well,
and
that
now
was
I
your
know
first
not
mistake.
to do that. It was my fault.
I'm pretty
I get
sure
it. I'll
there's
take the blame.
if Ivan, who big shout out to Ivan by the way, who doesn't always agree with us but has constantly been commenting on our videos lately, so I'm super appreciative of that. I think we had someone else jump in. Ivan could probably pull receipts of every episode. You going, I should learn not to trust you, James, but every time.
You know what? I have faith, and that's probably one of my problems. Is I trust a little too much, James. I figured at some point you'd be able to hold on your own or listen to me. I think that's the thing. Is I assume at this point I've been right so many times that you just start listening. Like maybe I'll just take his advice and listen to him because he's right all the time.
Your leap of faith on the podcast and your positive reinforcement is so fake.
Oh,
like I just
fake.
want
real.
to record the chat with all of us trying to play Warzone for the last couple of nights.
Video games are
zero
different.
Positive reinforcement.
Video games are different.
My back hurts from trying to carry the squad last night.
There's a pure difference between this is my free time and you guys are causing me problems, and this is our business and we need to do things. Like there's two different sides of it. Now, you did a good job carrying, and I would have to say I was very nice. We had 5, and I chose a rotation strategy that would actually make it to where I didn't play as many games for my natural style. So I was nice to everybody there and didn't say, oh, let's go with most damage or kills and things like that, where it normally would have been me and you standing on top playing every game. I chose who's going to die first, because that's definitely going to be me. I'm going to get bored and I'm going to rush and I'm probably going to die too quickly. So see, I didn't completely screw everybody over there and make them wait to play other games. I put something that was even amongst us all. You set something up
so our best player wasn't playing in half the games.
No.
So without you, playing? No, I'm not the best player.
It's about even. Everyone has their good or bad games. Actually, Trex carried us through two of the games.
Yeah, Trex was probably the best player last night. So without you there, Trex is on her own.
Well, see, we're used to playing duo. Like, we're not used to playing squads. Like, we're good at trios, we're good at duos. Our squad game is terrible. Like, it's absolutely terrible. There's way too much need for communication in squads for us to be able to do that. Like there's enough in duos where we can we play duos as 2 solos.
Yeah.
And we happen to come together every once in a while at that point.
And
trios,
it's
like a single solo, and then you and Trex play well as a duo. And I play solo. Like, that's kind of how that works. When we get to duos, we got this 2-pair thing. It's not working. Quads. Yeah, it's not working. There's not enough here.
You know what's funny? I've been watching Nick and Tim and those guys play a lot more. Nick, Tim, Cloaksy, Swag. And everyone's like, man, they always get high kills. They're probably using VPN. The amount of I thought about this. The amount of stream snipers that they have all the time. I mean, there's constantly people
just come into them all the time.
Right? They
all the time.
They run right to them. So yes, they end up with like anywhere from 8 to 12 kills on average. Cloaksy's been popping off around 20, but 7 of those kills each are dumbass squads that aren't very good, that are literally running to them, and they're just holding their ground.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, you also I don't know why people don't think about this all the time when they talk about this. It's their fucking job. They do this 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, whereas we play 3 to 4 hours, every couple of days if we're lucky.
And if you're not watching them live on stream, you don't realize that every once in a while they have a game where they die pretty quickly.
Every once in a while, every couple games they have that.
Well,
happen,
they've been going
like
on
everybody
this.
else.
But it also is interesting. They have, because chasing the nukes, which is the best content that they can get, they have completely changed their playstyle. And a lot of people don't know that. They don't get a lot of high kill games because they literally rotate in the circle. They try to sit to the end. They try not to.
They're playing
really
for
fight.
wins.
Yeah.
So when you have all these guys playing for wins, it's different than when you're playing for kills.
Makes
like
the game harder
around.
for everyone else in the lobby, I think.
It does.
Because you don't want to face those guys in a 4-team left situation where they're fully squatted and waiting to fight.
Yeah, it's a different game. We're playing a different game. It's not what it was in Verdansk and Caldera and all the other stuff that we were playing, but I still have my reservations about the game. I still think there's some things that they need to change, but that's not what we're here to talk about today.
Maybe later.
I don't think we actually. Maybe later we could talk about that a little bit. But today, this is kind of like the James show here. I didn't get to add a lot to this one. I was work had me super busy, so I do apologize for that. So if the content is terrible, you can blame James for it.
Whoa. Whoa. Slow your roll there, buddy.
So what do you want us to get started off with here, James? I see it in the background there.
Yeah, I would love to talk about this Hogwarts Legacy. Now,
do you really want to talk about it? Do you want to have an honest conversation?
I want to have an honest conversation, and I know that
conversation the world wants.
I want to have an honest conversation, and I know that we have to, if we're trying to be politically correct, we got to tiptoe around this. And
I'm not going to tiptoe. If you want an honest conversation,
I would love an honest conversation, because I don't really want to tiptoe around it either. But I don't want to put anyone in a bad spot. So,
we don't have enough listeners to tiptoe yet.
So basically, I sent you a couple articles. Of course, the cancel culture with J.K. Rowling and her beliefs and what she's done. And I'm not praising her, taking her side or anything like that. I do think she's a pretty horrible person. But people want to boycott everything now. People that have grown up from 5 years old till 20 loving Harry Potter, there are people out there that want to condemn it. And then the other half of the people that grew up with it and love it decided, you know what, F it. I'm not going to let that. Yes, I think she's a horrible person, but I'm not going to let her take away part of my childhood, right? Like, yes, she created this world, but other people have put their hands in it. It's not her single-handedly alone. There's a lot of people mixing in the pot. Yes, she created the book, she created the world, but people that created the movies and the merchandising and everything involved with it, there's a lot of people involved. So those people have decided, I'm just going to ignore her. I don't care about her. I'm just going to be excited about what I like about it. And then, of course, that's kind of gone back and forth. And now we have Hogwarts Legacy. New game.
So that's the funny thing about this, is to have the honest conversation. We're really not talking about Hogwarts Legacy or any game or any book or any movie that has ever been written. We're talking about the state of the culture that we have today. And I think basically what you just said proves the state of the culture today is screwed up, because you basically said she has opinions that she expressed in a free speech country, and she's a terrible, hateful person for it. I'm like, I don't think I agree with that statement at all. So she has opinions you don't agree with. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
She's allowed to have opinions I don't agree with.
I don't give a shit if you agree with what she said or not. That is completely for you to choose.
Correct. Yeah, I agree.
But I'm not going to say she's a horrible person behind that either, because I don't know her.
Okay,
I
fair
have
enough.
no
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
I'm not gonna take one statement by a person and classify everything about her throughout all of it. I'm not gonna disown one person because they have a disagreement. Let's
Yeah.
say it's under religion or gender or like all of this
Whatever it
everything.
is,
Gender
yeah.
is the issue that it is. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to say, "Oh, I hate you for everything that you've ever done because you've made this one comment." Well, that's not true. I just disagree with you on this point.
Yeah.
Do I agree with some of the statements that she made? I don't care. Like,
Yeah, that's all. Yeah,
that's the biggest problem is I didn't even know there was this huge controversy going on until you sent me this because I don't care that much.
Well, so the
And I
reason
am a
it came
giant
up
Harry
is
Potter
because
fan.
the reason it comes up is because one of the companies decided to fire their employee based on the fact that they're excited about this game.
Yeah, see, that is where it's completely wrong. Because think about it. Die hard Harry Potter fan.
Yeah, I know
Like,
you are.
I
You're so excited
100%
about this
there.
game.
Super excited about this game. I have watched the movies 20 to 30 times. I've read all of the books multiple times. I'm actually reading the last book, or not reading it, but listening to it in my car right now because I love Harry Potter. That is a separation from J.K. Rowling, the person.
Correct.
That has nothing to do with her other than, yeah, she created this world that's amazing. It's like I really loved watching Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire and all of these guys from the steroid era, Alex Rodriguez.
And if you
play
like
baseball,
if you like baseball, and
I
you
love
say
to
you
watch
didn't
it.
enjoy that home run
No,
year,
I loved it.
you're a
I
liar.
loved it.
But I'm saying if you like baseball
Yeah.
and you say, "Oh, well, I didn't like it because they were using," you're a liar.
But it
Everyone
doesn't mean,
watched it.
But I think even a better example of this is Pete Rose.
Listen, you better slow your roll down with my boy.
No,
here.
but here's the thing. Pete Rose was an amazing baseball player. He did great things in baseball. He played the game the way the game should be played. I don't give a shit if he's a dick off the field to everybody. I only care about what he does between the lines as a baseball player. But we expect these media stars
to perfection.
to be good people. Most of them aren't. Like most of them are egotistical. Most of them are self-centered. Most of them are all these things. There's a ton that are great. There are a ton that are normal people. A lot of them aren't. So you have to separate the person and the opinions of the person from the thing that they do. That is separate. Now, when it comes to business, there can be a fine line on that. But saying I am excited about a game coming out is not the same thing as going out on Twitter saying you are from this company and releasing statements that the company does not agree with. Like that could get you fired. Like I could not go on to my personal Twitter and start, saying a bunch of hate stuff and say, and I'm not going to say the company I work for, but the company I work for agrees with me. That would get me fired.
Correct. Yes.
So I cannot do that. And yes, there's things that you cannot do because you work for a certain company. But me saying, man, I really can't wait for Hogwarts Legacy to come out because I'm a really big Hogwarts fan and Harry Potter fan and all of those other things. And they say, well, J.K. Rowling's a terrible person, so you're fired. What? That has nothing to do with the conversation.
And what's funny is you made a good point. You said until I brought a lot of this to light, you had no idea what was going on. Most of the people that give her this platform and give her this power that they want everyone to boycott, don't buy anything, don't buy this, don't buy that. They're the ones making her putting her on a higher pedestal by constantly bringing it up.
Yeah, like there are some things in this world that I agree with. There's some things in this world that I am completely disagree with. But there's one thing in this world that I think if we sat everyone down, except for some of the most terrible people, sociopaths in the world, all we want out of this is for us to have enjoyment, make a better lives for our family, and have fun while we're doing it together. Like that's it.
Yep.
all the other bullshit is just fluff bullshit on the outside. I have trans friends. I have gay friends. My godfather is gay. I don't care about any of that stuff. I don't care what happens in your bedroom. I don't care about all those things. If you're a good, decent person, then I'm going to like you. But don't hate me because I like Harry Potter. That has nothing to do with my position on transgender.
Yeah, that's
If
the
you
thing
want to
that
know my position on transgender, ask me.
yeah,
Don't make an assumption about me
based on
because of the other things that I like.
yeah, that's the thing that just drives me nuts. It's just the amount of hate. I mean, you've got a rel, you know, I don't want to bring their names into it. You can find it on YouTube pretty easy. I know that Clownfish TV did a good podcast episode on them, but this huge influencer Twitch streamer is out there just saying, I hope you fucking die, or some weird like over the top stuff. Like if you buy this game and you play this game or you stream this game,
so it's
you're
it's
basically a
funny.
piece of shit.
It's
And
funny because the entire, and this isn't the movement. I want to separate this from two things. Like you have the
people looking for rights,
LGBTQ,
yeah.
well, the LGBTQ movement that's going on in the world today. And most of that is 99.999999% of that is peaceful protest within their rights, standing up for everything, having their rallies, doing all of the things that they should do in order to move human rights in the right direction. They're doing it the right way. And then you have
Absolutely.
the 0.000000001% that technically isn't even part of that group that's out here causing this chaos by fighting hate with more hate.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go on to my platform,
Twitter
because
warriors.
I have a Twitter, and I'm going to go on here and go on blast and say, everyone, you should fucking die if you hate this stuff. I'm like, really? Is this what we've learned over all of the hundreds and hundreds of years and all the issues we've had in all the countries? This is where we're at. We're just going to sit here and say, I hope someone fucking dies because they like something or dislike something that has nothing to do with the agenda at hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, if she wants to go out there on Twitter, and this is where I blame J.K. Rowling, Twitter is not really the greatest place in the world to go out there and start throwing out your opinions unless you want backlash. She got what she wanted.
Yep.
In controversy and backlash, and exactly what you said. All of a sudden, Harry Potter became a thing again. All of a sudden, you get this run. Harry Potter's been around for a while. Maybe it's not selling as well. Maybe it's there. It's definitely selling well. And there's a giant park for it if you want to go look at it at Universal Studios. Like, it's not going anywhere because 99.9% of general humans can separate the fact that J.K. Rowling's feelings towards something have nothing to do with Daniel Radcliffe playing Harry Potter in a movie. Like they don't align.
Yeah.
So the stuff like this infuriates me because it just sets us back. It sets all of these things 2 to 3 steps back, because now we have to fight the stupidity of all of these ignorant people that are fighting for the thing that we want to move forward, but they're so stupid and ignorant, they're doing it the wrong way, and they don't even realize that.
Exactly. And
they don't even realize that they're causing more problems than they are good.
Yeah, 100%. I do want to point out that in one of the videos I was watching and some of the articles I read, somebody is trying to say, oh, we should, don't buy the game, boycott this, because our boycotts have been working because Harry Potter sales are down 40% this year over the last year. Well, the person I was watching made a very good point. J.K. Rowling does a lot of other stuff. She's making other books. She hasn't written a book in 10 years. So you would
how much money did Fantastic Beasts just make?
But one would assume that something that old stops selling the books. How many times are you going to rebuy the books, right? Most of the world has the books, so of course they're going to be down in percentage. But it doesn't mean she's not making money elsewhere.
Well, it like, I always love when they say stuff like that. It's like, oh, the sales are down. Like, okay, which sales and what recession are we sitting in where people aren't going out and spending a bunch of money on Harry Potter memorabilia that they don't have enough money to spend on anyway, when we're really actually just worried about getting eggs and milk because they're
Yeah.
astronomically priced right now. Like what are you talking, like, are you talking about book sales being down? Sure, but I also know that they just did a huge licensing deal to with all the movies, and there's also talk about them redoing all of the movies here in the next 2 to 3 years
Yep.
of starting the remakes of all of them. So Harry Potter's not going away because Harry Potter is a cult classic. It is going to be here forever because it's a wonderful story
And the
about an orphaned child that becomes a powerful wizard to save the people from a dictator that's trying to overthrow everything. Like, it's a wonderful story.
and WB was a lot smarter than Fox and made sure they had control
And
over the movie rights.
yeah, and I'm not even gonna get into, and I don't even want to get into all the other stuff of like the because the game is doing a goblin revolt inside the game, that it's basically doing anti-Semitic
Yeah,
things
you
in
can
here and stuff like
spin
that. I'm like,
everything that goes on.
holy crap!
You can twist everything to fit your narrative if you want to.
It's a goblin. Like that's, if you went and drew a goblin, I would probably draw it the exact same way that they drew it. Just out of, if I told my daughter, draw what you think a goblin might look at like, and you use that. Now let's say someone throughout history has used that depiction to say mean things about people, to create stereotypes around people. That's what stereotypes are. That's why they need to be broken in certain ways when you look at this. But it's not that these story writers of a game decided, you know what, let me put this hidden subverse message inside of here because this is what I really want to push the agenda. It's not like, now if behind the goblin there's a swastika, all right, I'm going to start believing you now that we've got a problem.
Yeah.
Like, okay, there's some issues here. I would kind of agree with you. Like, if I saw that in some promotion material, I would be like, yeah, I'm not going to buy that game. As much as I like Harry Potter, I'm going to stay away from this game because those developers are doing things that I don't really agree with. But I've seen none of that through anything that I've seen in the game. I've also know that you have the hardcore, right side of the world that has banned all these books from everywhere because there's witches and wizards and magic and all this. So we've already had controversy on the side that J.K. Rowling stands on.
Yeah.
That have hated her books from the beginning. So you have the conservatives that hate everything about it anyway. I'm just waiting for that uproar.
Yeah. Now let's bring it. I want to bring it back to the game before we leave this topic here. Okay, we kind of got our feelings on the whole J.K. Rowling situation, whether you should ban it and all that, but the game has now, as I don't know if it's a slap in the face to the people trying to stop it, is the number one selling game this year on PlayStation 5. I also find it weird to.
It's not even out yet.
Yeah, but I also find it weird on the second week of January to be talking about what's the best selling game in 2023. But it's also high up there on Steam. I think it might be the top pre-ordered game on Steam right now. So my question to you will this game be judged on by the streamers and the gamer feedback that's a verified purchaser and verified player of the game? Or is it going to be judged on the fact that the Metacritic score is probably going to get review bombed to oblivion?
I mean, I think the thing that's going to tell whether or not the game is good or not is sales. It's hard for the streamer world because this is going to be kind of like Elden Ring. You're going to have a bunch of streamers go to it, play it for a good chunk of time, and then you're going to see them move off. This controversy actually might keep streamers from playing it. There's a brand that they have to listen to, and they're not going to want to lose people because of something for that. I'm going to play the game. I'm going to play the hell out of the game. I'll stream the game. I'll make videos on the game. I think it's going to be a really good game. Now, whether or not it is, that's to be seen, but it's not going to be because of the controversy we're talking about today. That's not going to affect the game. Honestly, the fact that it's got as many sales as it does with this controversy around it tells me one of two things. One, most people out there are pretty level-headed and are just like, okay, I'm buying a game, I'm not buying her thoughts and opinions. Or they're like me and are just completely oblivious to the fact because they just don't care enough to follow every little thing J.K. Rowling says on Twitter
Yeah.
and see what is blowing up, because that's how small of a thing it is to me. Okay, she's being a bitch on Twitter because she feels a certain way. I'm just gonna not listen to her Twitter, and I'm gonna. It's easy here.
Okay.
But I think the game as a whole, it's not gonna be Grand Theft Auto. You know, like it's not gonna be like this multi-world platform. It's a single-player game. You know, so it's hard to judge those games, and I hope the critics out there give it its due when they actually look through it and play it, rather than bend to the will of the media. And I will air quote media because it's not even real media at this point.
Okay, now here I want a prediction from you, Ender. I know you're excited to play this. You've seen a little bit of gameplay, some commentary, somewhat going on. They just revealed Simon Pegg is Phineas Black,
Yeah,
which
that's
is
cool.
which will be the headmaster of Hogwarts.
Yeah, I mean, it's a new story, so we don't know anything about it. So finding
So,
people and how they're going to tell it's going to be pretty cool.
and so far, some of the people that have previewed it have said this is going to be way better than anyone is prepared for. So, Ender, early prediction: is this giving Starfield a run for its money for Game of the Year come December?
Oh, I think it will. I think you're definitely going to have to be one because you're going to have, you know, it's the Harry Potter universe. It's not Harry Potter, so you have real leeway to tell a story that you want to tell. We already know that the Goblin revolt happened. Like we knew that happened from like they hint at it in the stories that were written. So I'm super excited. I think it's gonna, from what I've seen, this might rival and may become one of my favorite games of all time, next to like Fable. Like I'm feeling like this is going to be on the level of Fable, and if you've never played Fable, go back and play all of them. Fable might be the greatest single player character creation role playing game ever made.
Yeah,
Today it still stands up as one of the greatest games. And they haven't even done anything with it. I mean, I can't wait for the new Fable to come out, but I think this will be the closest thing we get to something like that, because from what I heard, you have, you know, the light and you have the dark. You have both magics that you can start to use, and your character is going to change the way it interacts with the world based on the decisions that you make. So it's so Fable-ish, and it's so Harry Potter story, because if you're a huge Harry Potter fan, you know that the only reason Harry didn't go to the dark side, or was supposed to be in Slytherin, the Sorting Hat tells him that, is because he chose not to be.
Yeah.
You know, he has it in him to go either way. He's not and that's the funny thing about Harry, is he's not a good person. He just makes really good unselfish decisions and becomes a great person.
Yeah.
But he had everything lining up for him to be just like Tom Riddle. No family, isolated, people hated him. He chose not to be. And that's why it's such a great story, because you have such polar opposites that had the same exact upbringing that chose to be different.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of the story. And it's to be able to retell it here and see things in a game sense,
yeah,
that we've heard about, and play it and interact with it. And we're going to get to, at the end of this podcast, we're going to talk about another one of those kind of games that we're actually going to get to see and watch and feel. Okay, welcome back. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty there, but we've got it. I think we actually might have a solution here we can try, but we'll keep working through it. And we're going to just move on to our next segment. We just finished up with I think we had enough to say about Harry Potter, James. I think we can go ahead and move on to what you got next for us.
The Xbox showcase was finally announced. You know, a lot of people were giving Xbox a hard time. We've talked about it here. You know me, big Xbox fanboy, of course. You make fun of me all the time for it. But it looks like January 25th They're gonna have a showcase. It's gonna highlight, Bethesda, Microsoft. Mojang's gonna be there, so Minecraft Legends will be there. Um, a few other things. Redfall, Forza Motorsport is supposed to be talked about finally, which I know is something you'll be pretty excited about.
Yeah, we haven't with how good slash bad Gran Turismo was. I'm actually looking to see if we can have a good racing game, because my simulator is all Xbox. So I've been playing Assetto Corsa mostly on it, and the F1 game is not really a simulator game. It's
Yeah.
more of an arcade game. So I'd be interested to see like that kind of arcadey but more of a simulator game come back out on Microsoft, because they removed the last Forza Motorsport. Like if you have it, you can download it, but you can no longer purchase it anymore.
Yeah.
Which was really an interesting move. I'm not 100% sure why they did that, and they just didn't put it like on Game Pass or something like that. At least have the game
Yeah, I
out
don't
there.
know exactly, but
My guess is it's licensing within the cars or something they didn't continue to have.
But remember, I don't think they officially bought Turn 10 until maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So it might be an issue there. Maybe
Yeah, that's
there's
true.
something-
I don't know. It feels like there's a contract issue there to just pull the game. It's more than it is a like the game isn't good, because it's still a great game.
Yeah.
So there's something there with licensing or contracting that they couldn't sell it anymore.
I do want to point out here before anyone is sitting there saying, "Oh, what about Starfield? What about Starfield?" Instead of going in and saying, "Oh, what are they going to do?" They're not going to showcase Starfield. Todd Howard's already come out from Bethesda. He's already said Starfield will have its own showcase. But you gotta assume, I mean, you would hope at least at the end of this showcase they would at least announce the date of the Starfield showcase and maybe a final release date. The game's got to be close. They did announce the other day that it's still coming out in the first half of 2023. You got to imagine that they don't want to put it right next to Redfall, which is going to be Arcane's next game. I don't know if you know much about this game, Ender. It's something we could end up be playing together. But are you?
No, I haven't really dove too much into new stuff that's been coming out. I kind of get into my Call of Duty haze where I stop really paying attention and just really focus in on that title. And I also, as like it's not really a casual game, but you can play it casual now. I've been playing a lot of World of Warcraft. So again, those games take up so much time. I'm kind of interested to start getting into some more stuff and broadening again and playing more games, because honestly, like we've talked about it at nauseum now. I think we just kind of start getting bored with the Call of Duty gameplay and maybe the battle royale gameplay in general right now. I am gonna probably go back and play some more Fortnite as it comes, because that's not a new season, but this isn't what we're talking about here. But
Yeah.
I am interested in how Xbox, what they're gonna have, who's gonna be there.
Are you excited about it? Do you think it's too little too late? Did they wait too long?
I don't know. I kind of it's kind of one of those things where Xbox lately has not had enough exclusive games that have gotten me super excited for their exclusive launch of things. So like, what are you showing me? Things that I've already known about for a while. Okay, Forza, great. Minecraft, great. If this was like
Minecraft Legends, which is their RPG take.
But let's say if the merger had gone through, if this is like our first big event of all the studios, Activision being part of it, everything coming together, and we're telling you what the future is going to look like, I would be super jazzed right now. But I think they kind of have to put a lot of their, really heavy development and thought process and things in there to winning this lawsuit and making this merger happen before they're going to come out with something that's just mind-blowingly great. And in my opinion, I think Starfall's there. So I'm more interested of like you said, are you going to give me that date of Starfield? Are you going to give me that date, or are you just going to like kick the can down the road and just say, here's some of the, like Minecraft Legends? Honestly, have never played Minecraft more than 8 minutes of it and I was already bored. I know you can do tons of things. It's a phenomenal game. I'm not saying anything against the game. It's just not my kind of game. Forza would be cool, but again, it's like, okay, it's a racing game. Like I understand that. Like it's not going to get a lot of people behind it. Redfall, don't know much about.
Well, here, let me tell you a little bit
It
about.
looks kind of
Let me
cool.
tell you a little
I've seen
bit
some
about
pictures of it.
Let me tell you a little bit about Redfall and see what you think, Ender. So Redfall, when it was first announced, you have your 4 characters. You're fighting vampires in this city. It's by Arcane, who made Deathloop and very, very good single player games, of course. And now they're going this multiplayer route. So with the 4 characters versus the vampires, everyone assumed, oh, it's Left 4 Dead. Now, what I find interesting about what Arcane and Bethesda decided to do in response to a lot of this, a lot of times, let's be honest, developers and other companies, this game plays exactly like this. Everyone knows this game plays exactly like this other game. But when they talk about it, they don't talk about the other game. They don't mention the other game. They don't say it compares to another game that's not, part of their company. None of that comes out. These guys were like, no, it's nothing like Left 4 Dead. They said the only thing that's in comparison to Left 4 Dead is that it's 4 people that can play it together. They said that's it. They said they compare it more to an old school Far Cry game. I'm excited, I think. You don't have to play as different characters. You can play as the same characters, but each character has different abilities. They said it's almost like a Far Cry meets Borderlands. You can play the whole thing.
Time will tell. We'll see.
Yeah.
I am all for anyone that is looking to come out with co-op games. We don't have enough co-op story mode games for people to play and have fun in, and it seems like the only genre that we get that's about it are these apocalyptic zombie monster horror games that you get to do that in. Like I wish we would have like Call of Duty could simply take the Call of Duty campaign, allow you to play with 4 people and have a wonderful thing. Like they're trying to do that with the raid system, but we've honestly never even played the raid system because you have this gap to get to it. So I am all for anyone that's looking to do a co-op game. Like go back to the old Gears of War games. Like Gears of War was phenomenal at doing co-op campaigns and having all of these different things like you could do together that was outside of multiplayer toxicity world. Like you could just get your friends together and play and you don't have to worry about everything else. You're just playing the game. Like Shatterline, I really wish they would put some more time into stuff like Shatterline to be able to do like the extraction modes and things they had. And I know there was some like the Division tried to do that, but you don't really have always the best developer teams or the money or what you would need in order to go through with it. So being that it is Bethesda and they don't normally put out things that aren't polished good products most of the time, like there's always flops, there's always things you say there, but most of the time they're putting out good products. You could have a really cool game here. I mean, I've watched a little bit of the trailer. I've seen what it is. I'm not a big vampire story person anyway, but if it's cool enough, I'll play it.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think the vampire aspect is what is making me hesitant for sure. Now let me ask you this, Ender, with the whole Xbox versus PlayStation, of course Xbox puts everything out on PC now. How important is this showcase with Xbox, with the Activision deal, with becoming relevant again, with their head-to-head with Sony on who makes better exclusives?
It's not relevant because we're not in the world of exclusives. We're in the world of, can I play the game? And if I play the game, do I like the game? And can I get a mass group of people playing it? It has nothing to do with this. Isn't I'm launching my new console. This is I'm launching my new software. Software is meant to be played everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you can put software everywhere, import it everywhere. It should be everywhere for everyone to play because I want to grow a community around a game. I don't want to grow a community around a singular thing anymore. It's like it would be like saying you can only use Facebook on a certain controller or a certain phone.
Yeah.
Like you can only use Facebook if you have a Facebook phone. Facebook would have flopped a long time ago. Is that how they did that? So this is software. Port the software where you need it to be. If you want it to be exclusive, you have those deals. That's fine. But what does exclusivity mean to Xbox now? You're going to go on Game Pass and I can play it on whatever I want to play it on? Like, what is exclusivity anymore when it comes to online gaming and the cloud gaming that Microsoft is looking to go towards.
Yeah.
So what we define exclusive is going to be different here. It's not going to be, it may not be exclusive to a platform. It might be exclusive to a cloud provider.
Yeah.
Where we have that. So it's going to be the downloader wars all over again. You know, my cloud provider war, or where I'm going to get this from.
Okay.
So we'll see.
So is it important or is it not important? You still didn't answer.
I don't think it makes a difference.
Okay.
Like I don't think the showing that they have here is going to make a difference on any of the things that they're doing moving forward.
All right. Couple last questions I have for you because everyone else has kind of given their take on this. Will they raise the price of Game Pass?
Who knows? Depends on what the cost of running Game Pass, the amount of the more
If they
people
raised
that
it
get
by
Game Pass,
$5, would you keep it?
Yeah. The more people that use Game Pass, the more cloud gaming infrastructure that you need to build on top of it in the background to make it run, the larger the price is going to be. HBO Max just raised their price $2 for everybody because more people are using it.
Okay.
The more you use it, the more infrastructure costs you have, the more you have to make up for that infrastructure cost. You don't necessarily have to. A lot of people think, oh, they're raising prices because they want to make more money. Well, no, they're raising prices because they have to continue to produce a product that you're going to want, and it's operational cost. It may not be profit that they're raising it for. So we have to also get out of the mindset of is this a greedy profit raise, or is this 100% that I need to be able to run my infrastructure and I need to be able to handle my infrastructure costs. It's not like Twitch saying, hey, we're going to take 50% of everything because we just want to. And we already know that our operational costs are X and we're covering those. That's different. That's, I want to make a profit. And they come out and said it's profit oriented, not infrastructure oriented. So I don't know, but you could raise it $5 and I'm not going to care. Now I'm in a different situation than some other people across the country. $5 may make a huge difference to some people and they can't afford that. So I don't think corporations, especially with Microsoft and who Microsoft wants to be in the image they're trying to put out, are going to take that lightly on whether or not they raise their price. Okay. It's going to be a calculated decision, because the last thing you want to do is raise your price and lose your player base and something that you're trying to push in the future of your company.
Yeah, makes sense. So
does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, perfect. All right, so with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the next topic, because you're going to know way more about this than I do.
Honestly, the controversy here has and it's going on right now. James, you're making me miss some of the gaming, but the controversy that is going on here, and what we have, and if you don't know, and you play Call of Duty and you like the Call of Duty League, you've been under a rock. Optic has been out there trying to basically, and thank you for, I can't remember who commented.
Probably Ivan.
It was Ivan. Okay, yeah, Ivan. Thank you for keeping us straight on all of this. Ivan, if you want to come on the podcast, please come on the podcast, because you obviously are more involved in this than I am at this point. But Optic Texas did drop Shotzi Illy in the beginning, or not Shotzi, I'm sorry. Now I'm losing their names. I'm going nuts here. Who are we talking about again?
Illy was dropped.
Illy was dropped, and Dashi. I'm sorry, I said Shotzi. No, I meant Dashi. At the beginning of the year, and then they brought them back. So they officially dropped them with an Optic tweet. They brought them back, and now they were looking again. And you had a ton of people out there. Like, there's Arcides was out there, Pred was out there, and there's a good video that is from Dashi talking about it. So if you really want to get there, and Shotzi's talking about it. So if you want to get like the inside, I would go watch their stuff. Long story short, Optic has a new player on it. It's Hook.
Yeah.
So Hook was
LA
part of
Gorillas, right?
Dallas Empire when they won. He went to Thieves. He was on the LA Gorillas. He's here. Now, the interesting thing about this is Hook joins, but Dashy is still an alternate. He's still a sub. So he didn't get removed from the team. He just got bumped from the starting roster. So he's still part of the team. So you still have all those guys there. And you even listened to, he was on stream, Shotzi was on stream talking about how they were just going through the motions.
Yeah, they didn't feel like
weren't
cohesive, like
excited.
they were a team.
Yeah, it didn't feel like they were a team. They were just going through the motions. And then Shotzi did say that him and Hook were flying around the map in the scrims, and their pacing was tighter, and that he was a good SMG duo to Scump. So if you're finding someone that's good to play with Scump, and it's going to make Scump better, that's always going to help your team. I'm still a little worried about their AR play. I was hoping they'd pull someone that was more of a main AR, but if Shotzi's able to do what he needs to do, then I think you're gonna have fun. I've watched Hook play before. He's a good player. Like, we'll see. Right now, I believe we have the start of the major going on right now. I haven't watched any of it today, but I'll have to jump in and see where we're at. The other interesting thing was how off a lot of the rumors were on who they were going to get and what was going to happen. And they just tried to stir the pot on all of that.
It was like they had fun with everybody.
Yeah, it was really interesting on that piece. But now it's settled. They have a roster. They're going into Major 2. Let's watch it and see what happens.
Do you think this change is good? Will they be a top tier team again, do you think?
Dude, you never know if they changing a single player can change the entire format of a team, especially in a 4-man team. Like changing one player on a football team, like let's say you rotated your defensive guard, may not make that huge of a difference in the overall feeling of the team. But like basketball, bringing in a singular player that's going to be like your 6th man or replacing someone on the court that's going to be playing is a huge change to how the overall feeling of the locker room is, how everyone is going to be brought up. Like, I played baseball my whole life. If you change your right fielder, sometimes that doesn't necessarily make a huge change to the entire team.
Yeah.
Now you bring in a superstar. Okay. Like if name one of the top teams, picks up the best quarterback in the league, whoever that may be right now. Who?
Joe Burrow.
So, okay. Yeah, there you go. Joe Burrow. Okay. We're going to move on from that analogy. But anyway, I think it could bring a new player on is going to bring a new play style, and Hook's going to want to come in and win. Like, that's a lot of what you're trying to bring in to be like, let's go, guys, let's win. Like, Hook hasn't been playing. He's not on a team. So he's ready to go. And just that little bit of a spark underneath somebody like Scump could just set him off to where everyone follows.
I would assume, I asked you, are they going to be a top tier team? But I assume if you've got Scump, I know I'm new to watching the CDL, but having Scump makes them feared at probably every major right off the bat. The other 3, I know that they're super important, and I'm not discrediting how good some of these other guys are, but I think if you could put Scump on any team and they're an immediate threat. But yes, to probably win it, you need those guys around him.
There's a good analogy that I like to use, and unfortunately, it involves basketball. And this is 90s basketball, and we're not going to do comparisons to people, but this is a team kind of deal. The Bulls never lost 3 games in a row with Jordan on the court. The Bulls did lose 3 games in a row with just Pippen on the court. That's why Jordan is better than Pippen when you look at you're comparing things. That's why that happens. Jordan refuses to lose. Scump is one of those players where if he's playing, you're probably not going to get that bad of a showing twice in a row.
Yeah.
That's what made that major so crazy, was you did have 2 games back to back that looked terrible. Like I don't imagine Scump on his last year, his retirement year, is going to let that happen again. Through entire Jordan's career, he never lost 3 games in a row. That's an unprecedented stat that no one ever talks about.
Yeah.
That's his want to win. And I feel like Scump's there. The only person that I would say that has that just like him would be Crimsix. Like, and he's not playing. Like, these are the guys that they don't lose. And I think that's why I really would like Formal to still be on this team. And again, I am more of a Formal fan than I am a Scump fan.
Yeah.
But that was Formal's mentality too. Formal was like, I'm just going to go to the Halo League and win because I win. Like, that's what I do. And, that sounds ignorant or and all those different things, but it's not. That's the mentality you have to have. And if Shotzi's saying they're just going through the motions and they're not really up for it and they're not really caring about winning, then you need to make a change. Like, you have to change something.
Yeah.
So hopefully Hector made the right change and brought in the right guy. But you are going to see a different team out there. Good or bad, time will tell.
All right. We'll move on from that. Final topic, and I'm sure we're going to get some comments. Ivan, again, thank you so much if you're watching this part. We really do appreciate you, whether you agree or not. And like Ender said, if you missed that, you're always welcome to come on the podcast. We'd love to have you and get your opinions on this. Last segment of the day, at least for me, The Last of Us. I'm going to say, Ender, I'm just going to throw this out there right now. I am disappointed that this is coming out before the game goes to PC because I don't have a PlayStation. I've never played this game. I've always wanted to play this game. And I know it's coming to Steam. The Last of Us Part 1, the remaster, whatever they call it, is coming to Steam, I believe, probably right as this show finishes, which is going to be great for sales. Of course, I think it was going to crazy sales on Steam anyways. But I do know it's an adaptation. It's a little bit different. I do know that IGN has watched the whole thing and they've given it a 9 out of 10, which is huge in my opinion. I think it's tough for any TV show to get a 10 out of 10 or anything. And so 9 out of 10, I think, is as close to a perfect show you can get. So my opening question to you, Ender, without even seeing one episode, is this going to be the best adaptation from a video game on a screen or TV show or movie that we've ever seen?
I think it could be, because I think you're also looking at one of the greatest video game stories of all time. So here's the interesting thing about The Last of Us. The Last of Us has not changed anything in their game for how many years has it been out? 10? Almost, it feels like, maybe longer. And they have ported it to every single console, every new thing, updated it with new graphics if they needed to, but have not changed a thing in the story. And it continues to sell today.
Yep.
And the story alone, multiple times playing that game, the seamlessness that they go through of your cut screens to you playing the game. There'll be times where I was watching the game and then I'd be like, oh shit, I got to start playing again. Like, I wanted it to be a story. I wanted to just sit. Like, I remember the second time I played the game, I was like, you know what? I really wish I could just watch this game. And then I went and found a guy that had zero commentation that played the whole game through on YouTube to just watch the game again and the gameplay. I think they did a great job with the casting. Just looking at the characters and the cast and who they are.
Yeah, Pedro
see
Pascal.
the characters
you
in
think
them.
he's is he gonna bring that Mandalorian mentality over to this character?
I mean, he's got some big shoes to fill, but I think he can. I think he's got the look, got the serious tone to him. He's raw, and that's what you need in this. You need a guy that can play this broken man. And I'm not going to get into it because people haven't watched it. I want to stop myself, because if you haven't played the game and you haven't watched the show, like, I don't want to say anything, because normally I wouldn't give a crap about spoiling something for somebody, because at the end of the day it's like, it's not that good. I'm not going to spoil this for people because it is that good.
Yeah.
And I hope the adaptation keeps close enough to the original grit and of the story. And that's why I'm super glad that it's on HBO. I'd have been really worried about this show if it was on like a regular cable broadcast, because I've seen some shows. One of them, like the SEAL Team. I watched that show a lot. That was on CBS, regular 9 o'clock showing, and now has gone to completely streaming. And they try to go into that edginess because they're trying to tell an edgier story that you can't do on broadcast, and they've done okay. It's like, you didn't really need to throw in the word fuck there. Like, okay, they just don't know how to do it yet. Whereas HBO knows how to do mature audience,
correct, yeah,
films, and stories and TV shows and things like that. So I'm glad it's on HBO,
because that's a lot of time to fill without sex and weird nakedness like they do on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but they could.
Now they have more character development.
They can offset this with like really cool creatures that they get to create, and nastiness there of like exploding guts and stuff. So the key is, I saw a picture of what the clickers are supposed to look like, and they look amazing. So like that's one of the things, and obviously you don't know what a clicker is yet if you haven't played the games, but just, I know they've changed like how the virus spreads and a couple things. Like, does that matter to me? No.
Okay.
I don't care how the virus spread.
Yeah.
I just care that it spread.
All right. Now I don't want to get too much into the as far as the video game adaptation. We're on the gaming site. We're going to talk about our other podcasts here in a second, and we're going to get way more in depth based on the trailer and everything. That's going to release probably the same time this is. So if you're already watching or listening to this, go check out Last Choice TV Reviews, which is still on the Last Choice Network. You can pop right over, audio, or on YouTube. It's going to be there. Just from the video game side, Ender, do you Halo got a lot of this? Oh, they're leading away from the main story. I know that is a recreation. I didn't read too much into it, but are you hoping that it's the end is almost the exact same, or do you think they have to make it its own thing so they can keep a couple seasons going on?
I think you definitely have at least another. So see, that's the weird thing about how this show could work, because technically it's 2 games are out there. So it's like, how are you going to take us through the arc in this first one of just the first game? And where are you going to end it into the second game? Because there's a time jump, and I'll air quote a time jump that happens. So I can't really say much more because I don't want to get rid of what a big thing that could happen. I hope they make an adaptation that sticks close enough to the storyline that makes me to continue to want to watch it, because it's a little bit different and they can take it farther than following the games the whole time.
Gotcha.
So like Game of Thrones did. So I think Game of Thrones took liberties into what would translate to screen better, because it was a book. The interesting part about this one is it was a visual medium to begin with. So like, you have the visuals. I know what I see. Like, I know what the characters look like. I know what the areas look like. I know when they go places what it's supposed to be, because it was already so visual. Books you created in your mind.
Yeah.
But you could be easily swayed by like, oh, so that's what that was supposed to look like.
Yeah,
exactly. Oh, that's what that was supposed to look like. Like what my mind saw and what you visualized there. I now, like, when someone, going back to earlier, when someone says Harry Potter, I see Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah.
Like that's who I see in my mind now when you read the book. When you really go listen to the description, it could have been any, dark-haired kid with a scar on his head that wore circle glasses. Like there are gonna be thousands of pictures of that child
Yeah.
of what he's supposed to look like, but now even the covers are drawn to look like Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what makes it so like Joel, like the main character here, like I know what he looked like in the game, and they did a pretty good job with the casting of there. Now, I don't think Ellie was that great of casting for her look, but I think the actress is going to be spot on.
Yeah, exactly.
For what you need her to do.
I agree.
So like I'm okay with that. I'm like, okay, I will deal with my needing to make this character look a little bit different in my mind, but I know this actress, I've seen other things she's done. She's gonna nail it. Like this girl's gonna do an amazing job here. So that's kind of where I'm at. I think that's the issue is you basically have a visual medium going to a visual medium and a different storytelling mechanism, and you're going to have different storytellers. And I want writing a video game story is different than writing a TV story. So I want them to have a good meeting of the minds, sit down together, and I hope they discuss it with the developers. They discuss it with the story writers of the game and come up with some compromises that they need to make to transition it to a TV show, to transition it to where, again, the video game is like 20 hours, 25 hours.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get that on TV because a lot of it's me playing the game. Like I got to get from one area to the other, and I got to do like how long it takes me to get through that is how many obstacles they put in front of me. They can't continue to put like mazes and me walking around a cemetery trying to find the one little item I need to get, like the key.
Yeah.
To get through a door. They know how long that's going to end up taking you to do. Like on film, it's going to be like, let's look for the key. I found the key. Like, let's go through the door. Like I have to keep the story moving. So I just hope they talk to each other. They keep the core characters feeling like the characters, and I'll be good. I'm not the guy that needs you to stay directly the story. I need you to tell me a good story.
All right, guys. Well, and unless you have anything else, and again, we're gonna hop over to Last Choice TV reviews. So if you want to kind of walk people into that, so they'll know where to look for us.
Yeah. So you have Last Choice TV reviews podcast that we're doing. We started the Winchesters, so we have a couple there. We need to catch back up onto that, but with the controversy on whether or not the show is going to be coming back, we kind of stepped back from doing that until we learned a little bit more about it, to dive more into The Last of Us, which I think aligns better with our overall brand and video gaming and things at that point. So The Last of Us is based off of video games, so we're going to be there. So you can find us at The Last Choice TV reviews. Start at YouTube. You also have it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and anywhere else that you get your podcast episodes. But I think our first preview, which we got to get out because we got 2 days before we got the first episode going, and we actually want to be.
We're going to record it right now.
Or do we want to be on time for this so we don't have to record like 3 episodes in a row? Because normally when we start TV shows, we're like a week or 2 behind and we have to catch up. So we're hoping to be in front of this one. We do know there's going to be one episode I have to find somebody to record with.
I gave you a plenty big heads up.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's fine. I'm just saying I'm going to have to find someone to do that. Which I think I'll just make Trex come on and do that one with me. She'll maybe the only episode she watches of the entire show, but she'll watch it and we'll talk about it or something there. I don't know. But this has been Two Dudes That Game. I'm Ender. That guy over there is James. Have a good night, people. Enjoy what you're doing. Enjoy life. Have fun. Don't let other people's opinions affect you too much. We're out.